Former prisoner and inmate.
You did it. What are you doing, Guns?
You bit the hell out of me.
Wanna see you with your hands up. Going straight to the sky, let me see you put your hands up. Cause we do till we die and we on another level.
I'm at New York City.
To the rest of your body, the hips and the got a piece of the pie. Told you once, told you twice that we only got one life.
On the way to achieve success after prison, and he's going to share his story with us right now.
Diamond shine, best at night. You wear yours, I'll wear mine. Go dumb tonight.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of My Thing Tales from Gangster. Street takes. Been a minute since that street took. Street taken. And it's been such a minute that I actually had to jump my car because it's cold, and if you look out there, it's all snow, and it's been cold for like a month. I haven't even driven my car in like a month. I don't go anywhere. My wife goes to the grocery store about once a week, every 7-10 days, something like that. I don't go anywhere. That's it. I don't go anywhere. Although jumping in my Jeep right now just reminded me of how much I enjoy my Jeep, because it's a beast. They got 6-8 inches of snow, and I just go right through it. I could go right through the freaking middle of a farm field, doesn't matter, like a cornfield, doesn't matter. This thing goes through everything. I drove this Jeep for 10 miles down the snowmobile trail one day. This after we had a huge blizzard, like the year I first got out of prison. We had snowmobiles, we got a huge blizzard, and we got like 18 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. I don't care what anybody says, 18 inches is a lot of snow. And we already had like 6 inches. So now we got 2 feet of snow on the ground. I had snowmobiles. I jumped on a snowmobile that morning, like, hell yeah, I'm about to break some powder. Let's go. Man. The snow was so deep that I was the snow was plowing over my hood, over the top of the snowmobile. And it was just spinning. The track was spinning. I had to do like 40. I had a gun pinned there, like I was doing 90. It just wasn't even that fun, really. So I said, you know what? Got like a half mile down my road, mile, whatever it was. Because my road was the snowmobile trail. 646. It's literally, at that end, the snowmobile trail continues and goes on for freaking 100 miles. But my road was just like 4 miles. And then 5 miles actually, there was only like 5 houses, and I was one of them. But anyways, I get down there, and this sucks, ain't no fun. So I come back, and Maria's, in the house doing what she does, and she's like, what's wrong? I said, get in the car. She's like, what? Let's get in the car, we're going for a ride. I said, what are you talking about? I'm like, why aren't you snowmobiling? Snowmobiles don't work. This much snow. She's like, you kidding me? I said, nah, get in the car. So I jumped in the Jeep, this Jeep Commander, which is a Commander with a Hemi, all wheel all the time. It does have 4-low and all that stuff, but it's a 4-wheel drive all the time. It's got a lift on it. So I just jumped in that mofo and drove down the snowmobile trail for like 10 miles. There was only one point where I almost got stuck, and that was because it looked like it was flat, and I forgot there's a big puddle there. There's always a bunch of water there, and it freezes over and it snows over it, so it just looks flat. So I'm whipping along, doing like 25 down this trail. I mean, there were snowmobiles passing me, like coming the other way, looking at me like, what the fuck? Is this guy serious? Guy's out here in the middle of the freaking woods in a Jeep, blasting through 2 feet of snow. Snow's plowing over my hood. Anyways, so I come around this bend, and everything's fine. And all of a sudden, and my whole Jeep just goes on it like sideways. Bang, I forgot. There's like a freaking 2-foot deep puddle. Huge puddle. It's like 40 yards long and like 2-3 feet deep. And I was like, and it's like instantly started to stop me. I'm oh no. And I didn't even have time to hit 4-low. I just gunned it. And ice kept breaking. My wife's like leaning up like, oh my God, we're gonna flip. And I popped up and we got out of there. And the only other remarkable thing that happened that day was a bunch of deer ran out in front of me, and I remember I said the N-word because I said, look at these here, man, look at these, and it just came out. Too many years in prison, man. It came out. I would have said it about anything. It didn't matter about nothing, but look at these here, man. My wife's like, probably shouldn't post that video, huh? I'm like, probably not. So, anyways, I am going to the post office right now to mail out a bunch of leather coats. I got a bunch of boxes of leather. Here comes another Jeep coming the opposite way down the road. There, a little Wrangler. Ah, how cute, little Wrangler with the 4-cylinder. Cute. I eat them up. I can drag that thing around the woods. Put the Hemi in it. So yeah, I got 4 or 5 leathers I'm sending out. I still got some more. Tommy Mirabella, he's got like a $500 order I'm waiting to get done, you know, and then I can ship his coat with it. Glenna Paramore, this is her second leather she's bought from me. First one got stolen. She also has a varsity jacket like this. She has everything, a little bit of everything. She's a Miami girl. But she has like almost every item we make, she's got it. There's a couple people like that. Another girl named Amy Parinelli. Amy, I can't think of her name. Amy, you know who you are, Amy. She's a Boston girl. She's got everything we got. She's got laced up, like at least a couple of everything. It's dope. Anyway, so I figured I got a minute. I got a couple of, I got a funny story. I mean, I always try to think I have funny stories, but maybe they're not always funny, but I think they are. I met this old man here the other day, well, about 2 months ago, right? And I was kind of telling him how I deer hunt. He's kind of looking at me like, yeah, sure, pal, you're just gonna go out. This basically, he showed me his garage, and his garage right there, he had like 20 bucks, all little ones, so 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 1 or 2 8 points. Been hunting this here his whole life, 40 years. So he's got 2 shooter bucks and a bunch of little ones. He shoots one every year, a little buck, and he's happy and proud of that. And I was like, well, I'm after one like that, the nice mature buck. And he looked at me like, what do you mean you're after one? We're all after one, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna get one. I'll get one this year. It's gonna be crazy. And he's like, I just couldn't even fathom that. An old good old boy, been living up here on this farm his whole life. You know, he goes out to his little shed blind that's on a lift, that's up on a ladder thing. And he goes out there and he sits there during rifle season and he sees a freaking little buck sneaking across there, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and shoots it at 200 yards. Pow! Maybe makes a good shot, maybe not. But anyways, he doesn't get that if you're a good hunter and you know what the hell you're doing, you can walk out in the woods and walk in the woods and come back with a buck almost every time if you know what you're doing. The buck that I got this year was on a new property. I scouted for 3-4 hours 2 days earlier, decided where I should hunt on that property based on I only have a couple of hunts before hunting season starts, before the rifle season starts, and they will be hunting it. So I asked him, before you go out here with the rifle and start target shooting, would you mind if I try to get one with a bow? He said, yeah, sure. He knows it's a long shot. Like, sure, pal, I'm just gonna walk out there and get one with a bow, huh? Yeah. I mean, because he knows he probably never shot a buck within bow range in his life, and the guy's like 70 years old. He's never had a buck within 30 yards, so he's never gonna, to me, when he said, yeah, sure, he probably was thinking, yeah, sure, go out there with a buck, good luck, You don't even know the property, you didn't have trail cams, you don't got nothing, you don't know what the frick's out there, whatever. You don't know I'm smart as a mother effer, and I look at the sign. So I go out there, all the sign. Based on the sign, I see scrapes, rubs, trails, patterns, and out there 3-4 hours, and I say, this is the spot that will get me a buck. Come back in 2 days, go through all my scent control issues, all my process. When it's just right that day, I sneak out there past where I believe the buck is bedded. And if he's bedded on the other side of the trail, then it's done, I'm over. But he wasn't, he was on the right side, which I figured. Creep out there, get in the blind. Half an hour later, I see a buck creeping through the woods. I grunt him in, he circles around, and I whack his ass at 30 yards. That wasn't an accident. That was absolute planning and skill. So anyone can say, anyway, that old man was funny because he looked crazy. And I want to go over there and tell him, yeah, I got a buck, man. I hunted on your friend's property over here because they know the guy. They know this guy over here. And I'm going to say, I hunted on your friend's property. He gave me British hunt for a couple of days. I went in there, and an hour later, I killed an 8-point buck. The guy's going to look at me. And they all, like, I thought even the guy killed it on his property. He's like, I want to see a picture. He just couldn't even believe it. I showed him pictures of a beautiful 8-point buck. And I told him the day before, earlier, or a couple days before, I said, man, listen, I'm going to get a mature buck here. I'll get one. There's one here. And if I do everything right, I'll get them. I'm sure there's bigger ones. I think the bigger ones, I won't get because they're smarter than me. That's the whole thing. I told them there's big ones in there, way bigger than that one. I said, but they're not stupid enough to freaking fall for the okie doke. They're not. If they hear a doe that don't really sound perfectly like a doe and they don't see her first, they will circle all the way downwind, bust me, and that'll be the end of it. That young buck who's 2 years old, I thought, man, and be lazy. I'll be lazy. I won't circle all the way downwind. I know there's a doe here somewhere. It sounds like a doe. Let me look. And then circle around, and that mistake cost him his life. And that's how it goes with deer hunting. One mistake. In fact, I'm passing the guy's property right freaking now, right where I shot my deer. Right back in the woods right here, man. Good freaking dude for letting me hunt there. I'll never forget it, man. 600-800 yards back in the woods right there. Bam. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you about a story about a man named Jed. Poor mother effer barely kept his family fed. And one day he was shooting at the crew, and up come a bomb with a bubbling through. No, it's my farmer's house, right? So I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I don't know, now I got all that out of the way. I'm gonna tell you a quick funny story about I just remember this story because I don't even know why. There was a kid, like I remembered the kid from the old neighborhood, right? And I said to my girlfriend, "You remember Chris Jackson?" And she's like, "Yeah, I didn't really know him." At first she thought it was Scott Jackson, who was another dude who lived in the project. So there's a project townhouses at the end of my street. So you go to the end of my street, Euclid, and hit Harper and St. Clair Shores, and across the road is called the Williamsburg townhouses. They're just projects, but they're pretty nice. They're well kept. Everybody kept, it's just cheap like apartments, but they're like project apartments, Section 8, stuff like that. So a lot of single mothers had places there, single families, single parent families, single income homes, whatever. I never looked at anybody other than the fact that this is where they lived. I didn't care. I had a few friends in there. My friend Fat Ricky lived in there, and he's a freaking loser and just turned out to be a douchebag in life generally. But he lived in there, and this kid Chris Jackson, Scott McConnell, Scott Jackson, some girls, Carrie Doobie, a bunch of girls lived in there, and Scott Jackson became one of my business associates. So I won't get into what we did, but he was a hustler, and now he's very successful in a legitimate business realm. And I don't want to sully his name, but he's a smart guy. He went into business with my friend named Jack Kellhut. And anyways, this kid Chris Jackson was kind of a muscle-bound dude. Maria saw him as a kind of a bully, wannabe tough guy. I never got that vibe from him because he didn't project it with me, but I knew he did. I knew he did like to act tough with people and everybody. And he was muscle-bound, kind of big, muscle-bound, but he never acted tough with me. He acted very humble and kind of like he acquiesced, meaning around me, he deferred to me as the tough guy. There was no question between us who the tough guy was. It was me. Not that I acted tough or anything with him. I didn't have to. That's what I'm saying. He just kind of knew. And we talk about fighting and working out and all kinds of stuff, but wasn't. I never had a reason to not like him just because he acted like a tough guy with some people. He was a pretty tough kid. He would fight and get in brawls and whatever. I didn't really see him picking on nobody or bullying nobody around. So I thought, kid's an all right kid. And so I was friendly with him, and I knew. Then he started buying steroids for me, weed, and other drugs too, but like coke. And so one time he calls me. He wants some steroids. I got the steroids, right? And I'm not sure where I was living at the time. I think I was living in Detroit. So I was pretty young. I was only like 21 years old. I had a house on State Fair in Detroit. But I was out in the neighborhood with my car, my Mustang. Yeah, this is when I definitely live in Detroit, because this is the point where I don't know if you guys, I told you when I got jumped. If you listen to the show where I got jumped, hit in the head with a bat and stabbed, when they did that, they busted the back window out of my Mustang. I had a Mustang, and they smashed the back window out of my car. And then my boys, Lo and Meech, they freaking came out with their guns and like chased the guys off. They were about to burn my car up. These freaking dudes were about to burn my car up. And they had freaking hit me in the head with a bat, stabbed me, and chased me, and shot at me even. And then Meech and Lo came outside and freaking shot at them as they were trying to burn my car up. It was funny. They busted the back window out of my car and stole my fishing poles first, though. Got a bunch of fishing poles in it. And then they got gas about to pour it. And they was like, Meech was like, Lo was like, man, back the F up. And they got in a big thing. He fired a couple shots and ran them off. I'm hiding in the backyard freaking 3 blocks away, 4 or 5 blocks away, wherever it was, scared for my life. So I'm gashed, blood, stabbed, beat. I'm like thinking I'm dying, which I was on my way to die. And anyways, so shortly after this, I hadn't even got the freaking car fixed yet. You know what I'm saying? My back hatch window. It was a hatchback Mustang. So I remember going to this dude Chris Jackson's house. He said he wanted some roids, and I said I got them. And I was like, he wanted something else, coke, weed. So I can't even remember, but I do remember I had coke and heroin on me. So it must have been around at a time. I think it was at a time when I was actually selling heroin. Not a lot, but I had a couple dope fiend chicks from like Mount Clemens who would buy like $100 a day. And so I would just go down in the hood when I bought my coke from my cousin, because my cousin bought coke every day too, like an ounce. And then so, it's crazy. I'm making like between the heroin and the coke, I could make like $500 or $600 a day. It was a. Oh, Scott Bernstein's calling me. I'll be right back. Okay, so back, I had to run in the post office, mail all these leather cokes. Scott Bernstein just called me, having a discussion with him about what he's got going, which is big. Scott Bernstein is on to something big. He's about to earth-shattering, groundbreaking, big deal, what he's about to do. And I'm very grateful that he's my boy. And at some point I'll have something to do with it. I'm not sure what, but that's my dog, and he ain't gonna let me down. So I know he's the kind of guy who, if his thing blows, he's bringing gunning with him. I'm the same way. If something happens with me, I blow up. Come on. Bernstein's the most talented person I know, probably. He just is. Smartest, most talented guy I know. And I love him. He's my boy. So, anyways, let me get back to this Chris Jackson dude. Chris Jackson, if you watch this, I'm sorry for using your name. Probably shouldn't, but it is what it is. You'll get over it. What makes this story funny is basically everything about it is kind of funny. What's that noise? I got a wet belt or something. So go down the road. Now, I can't remember for sure if I was using drugs or not. I don't think I was. Dirt all over me. I've been working on my house. I don't feel like I was on drugs, but then again, I might have been. There was a couple little short spells in my life where I did coke, a little bit of coke, not much, but for like a week or two, where I was snorted I made it over a week, maybe did like a quarter ounce, which is not a lot, you know what I'm saying? A couple lines here and a couple lines there. Then I would do a blow, heroin, to knock me down, to bring me down. Then I could go to sleep. Then I go the next day. I go to the gym. I'd work out. I'd eat steak. Blah blah blah. And then afterwards, maybe I'd freaking go to the club or do a line. But nobody knew. It's just me doing partying with myself. You know what I mean? And it just coming down, whatever. So I was living in Detroit. So again, this is after I'd been stabbed and beat and all this. And so this is definitely one of those times where I was using drugs. Because I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, yeah. I almost remember for sure which time it was. It was when I was doing a little of this coke, which again, I was never big into coke, but on this particular occasion, I was. So I'm with my girlfriend, right? I said, honey, because I got a suspended license, and I'm wanted, and I'm on coke, so I'm paranoid. Seems like I did more, I've told quite a few stories where I was on coke. I did more coke than I thought I did. And I didn't. They all kind of blend together. I didn't do a lot of coke. I'm telling you, it was like almost nothing. Every once in a while, like over 10 years, maybe like 4 or 5 times, I go on a little coke bender for like a week and not even use a lot, just a couple lines here and a couple lines there. Anyway, so I'm with my girl and saying, now keep in mind, I got a Mustang with a stick. My girlfriend can't drive my car, but I bring her with me I'm thinking ahead. So I said, come on, I gotta go see Chris Jackson. I don't really tell her what I'm doing or why what. I got dope on her. I got heroin, I got coke. I know my mind keeps saying going back to the coke thing. But I'm sure if I had coke, I had some heroin on me too. But I had steroids to sell to him. So keep in mind, I'm already paranoid as a mother effer, a little bit. Because of the coke. A little bit of coke. So I drive down to the Williamsburg Townhouse. I pull in the parking lot and I told my girlfriend, wait in the car. I'm gonna run up to Chris's house. So it's kind of like this labyrinth of like projects, it's apartment buildings and stuff, and I park, walk up, then down like a sidewalk behind another building and around. So I knock on the door. Chris comes to the door. He's, what's up? He's like, hey, my mom's in the house. So he comes outside, and we're good talking, right? So we start negotiating whatever frick it was that I was selling him. I think it's steroids, but it might have been some coke too, though, or something. And so we're sitting on this catwalk, right? And we're talking pretty loud, man. We're like, it's kind of out in the open. Like, yeah, man, listen, just give me the $200 now. I'll give you the rest. Give me the rest tomorrow, the next day, whatever. It's like summertime, so it's a nice summer day, literally summertime. And this is funny as hell. Well, while we're sitting there having this negotiation on this like catwalk between the buildings, boom, a spotlight pops on us. We were out there for like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know why we were out there so long, just kind of shooting to get kicking it. My girlfriend's parked in my car with got the smashed in, hatch, parked in the little parking lot of the apartments there, just sitting there. And so the cops spotlight us, right? And man, this is a close freaking call, man. This is a close freaking call. The cops hit us with a spotlight, and I look at Chris, I'm like, what the frick? And I run. I don't know, my first instinct was run. So I run back around the corner to my car, and I walk, and Chris kind of runs in his house. I run back to my car, and I say, listen, get in the driver's seat right now. She's like, what? Why? I just get in the driver's seat. I see the cops, they pull in. They're pulling in. I jump out, I got a red tank top on, red tank top. The cops are coming through the parking lot. They roll right past. By the time they roll past my car, I'm already walking up around the bend and around the corner back to Chris's house. Cops see me. Probably recognize me for who I am, but as soon as I see my Mustang there, I'm like, hell, because I asked my girl afterwards, I said, what'd they do? She's like, they pulled it right up behind you and shined a light dead in the back of your freaking car because I had a smashed out hatch. My Mustang was freaking notorious. Some black, tinted out, loped out, murdered out black Mustang with freaking rims this wide on it, freaking kicker in it. Now it's got a busted window and it's sitting there. My girlfriend's parked in it. So I go back to Chris's house and I like run back to his house. I'm like knocking the door. He's like, what's up? I said, let me in the house. He's like, what do you mean? What's going on? I said, let me in the freaking house, bro. So I gotta push my way. He's like, my mom's in the freaking other room, bro. I said, shh, don't say nothing. He's like, they don't know where we're at, dude. They don't know what freaking house we're in. So shut the frick up. So all of a sudden, we're in one of these apartments. I'm not sure which way. I hear the radio. When I hear them, their belts and stuff jingling around. We're not sure which one they went. And meanwhile, my girlfriend's parking out in the parking lot. And they stop her and they're like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. She's like, what apartment's he in? She's like, I don't know. One of them. So like, whatever. So I wait for the cops, they're looking around the apartment complex looking for me, right? Now, I'm not even sure why. But I know I got coke and dope on me and I'm paranoid. I got steroids, coke, and dope. I ended up leaving. No, Chris wouldn't take the steroids. I tried to give. That's what it was. I said, "Here, man, take the freaking roids, bro. Take it." He's like, "Nah, man, I ain't leaving with me, man. You're gonna leave me here." I said, "Bro, what? Are you serious, man? I can't come in here. I got no freaking warrants." Like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm like, "You pussy." That's the problem with doing business with like a civilian mother effer, because that's all he was a civilian mother effer. He was no gangster. He was no freaking player. Wasn't no hitter. No freaking OG. Nothing. He's a pussy. And I'm like, just take the freaking whatever, bro. So I take it in my pocket. I said, go. I said, bro. So we wait about 5 minutes till, we don't hear him or see him because we kind of were looking out the kitchen. They were walking around the apartment complex looking for me, right? I don't know where they at, but I'm sure they've got my car staked out at this point. They know my car's there. They know I'm there. So I said, dude, give me a freaking, like, a shirt. Give me a shirt. He's like, what? I remember it was a powder blue shirt. He gave me like a powder blue, sky blue shirt. I'm like, give me a shirt. I'm like, they think I'm in a red tank top. I said, give me a powder, anything that's not that. He's like, all right. So they give me a powder blue shirt and like a hat. I said, all right, bro, listen. This is what you got to do, man. My girl can't drive my car. She don't know how to drive a Mustang. She don't know how to drive a stick. So you got to go. You know how to drive a stick, right? He's like, yeah. I said, go out there in like 10 minutes and tell my girl that I said meet her or meet you guys back at her house. Basically, will you drive her home in my car and then she'll drive you home in her car because her car's at her house. And I said, just tell her I'll meet her at home, at her house. And he kind of bucked back at first, like, well, I don't want to do it. I'm like, what are they going to do, bro? You can't do nothing. You don't got a warrants, do you? He said, no. I'm like, I can't do shit. My car's clean. My car's legit. You know what I'm saying? I got a suspended license, bro. I can't be driving it. And I think I probably had warrants too. My car was clean. So I said, just go out there, tell my girl to get in the passenger seat, drive. She lives freaking 2 miles away, 2 miles. Drive her the thing, she'll jump in her car, she has a Z24, she'll drive you back here, and that'll be that. So he's like, all right, cool. And then, of course, I would ask them later, like, what happened? And like, oh yeah, as soon as Chris jumped in the car, as soon as he jumped in the car and we pulled out, they pulled us over. She's like, we didn't get 5 feet. And they were like, boop, 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 with the light. And they're like, where are you going, whatever. And like, but it was funny, when I left his house, I saw the cops parked in the apartment's parking lot. But I had this hat on and like a blue shirt. It was dark. It was pretty dark out, you know. It wasn't like low lights and all. It was very low light. So they saw a dude walking with a hat and blue shirt, but the last guy they were looking for didn't have a hat on, had a red tank top on, you know. So I just acted like I was just casually walking, right? Thinking we're all good. I didn't even look towards them. I just walking. But I was in the corner of my eye, I was tweaking, you know. I'm like, and they're freaking watching me, man. They're on me. But they never came. And then I told Chris, wait 5 minutes after I leave, then walk out there and drive. And then they pulled him over, and the cop said to Chris, he's like, you can't be driving this car with a busted out window, blah, 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 it's illegal, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, I'm just trying to get home, whatever. They're like, where's Gunner? I don't know. He left. He walked out of here. Where'd he go? They're like, I don't know. He left. He went home. I don't know what he did. He left. He said, you know, F you guys, he's out. So they said, my girl said they followed them out of the apartments, and then when they turned on the Masonic, they kind of just went their own way because they knew I wasn't with them. They were looking for me. So I cut through the apartment complex, and this is how gangster I was. I knew my neighbor. This is my neighborhood I grew up in, but I wasn't living there at the time. Now I live in Detroit, and I'm like 6-7 miles away. And but I know the neighborhood, so I cut through this apartment complex, these townhouses, these Williamsburg projects, crossed Harper Avenue, and there's my street, my old street I lived on. It's right there. I cross the street, and that puts me in like broad daylight. No, because it's right on Harper Avenue. There's people and cars everywhere. It's mad cars. You know, it's a highway avenue. It's people everywhere. And I know once I cross that street, man, I'm burnt. If they're like watching, if they're looking, if they're parked waiting, which I'm sure they were, as soon as I cross Harper, bang, and it was. As soon as I cross Harper, I run across the street. I get about 2-3 houses down. I see the cops pulling down. They're waiting to turn because there's traffic. They don't turn the headlights on though yet. They're just gonna turn. They're gonna see who I was. I take off running. I run, jump in the backyard, right? Run in the backyard, jump. But I just so happen to jump in the backyard that's got a big ass dog in the neighbor's backyard. Big ass German Shepherd. I was kind of hiding, but it didn't matter. The dog gave me up. You know, I'm like, motherfucker. So now I jump fence, get about another couple houses, and the cops pull into the backyard where the dog is, because they hear the dog. They pull in, they jump out, they're looking. Another cop shows up. They pulls in another, they're looking. So now it's on. So the next freaking like 45 minutes, they on me, man. I believed in my mind, and I'm not entirely sure, but I believed this at the time. And they may have, they had a dog on me. They were tracking me with a dog. I say that because no matter where I went, they were on me within freaking like 5 minutes. Maybe they're just up and down the streets. But I'm jumping fences, going down 5 houses, jumping fences, going back 10 houses, jumping fences, and it didn't matter where I would jump the fences, within 2 minutes, the cops were there. I don't even know how the heck they were doing it. Maybe it was just, I was tweaking on coke and I was super paranoid. But there were cops all over the freaking place. And I didn't even know what I did. That's the thing. I might have had warrants for some petty, like driving on suspended crap. But, you know, I was always doing dirt. I was always involved in crime. And it could have been anything from murder to freaking, you know, not saying I'm like a murderer, but I mean, there's times where I was suspected of being associated with murders. And I was like, I could have been anything. I don't know what the frick they're looking for me. They're just looking for me. I don't want to be caught right now. I'm tweaking on coke. I got dope on me. I got steroids on me. I'm not trying to freaking go to jail right now. And so I remember at one point, I jumped through my very own backyard, which I hadn't lived there for like 5 years. You know, it's new people live there. My dad sold his house. He moved up north. And I know the neighborhood so well. There was this big house with a bunch of trees. It was real dark. And I knew if I'd cut through that backyard and jumped a couple fences, I'd end up in my backyard. And I'm running through the backyards of people that I grew up with. People that I know. This is the, I can't remember the names of the families, you know, that they were there with the Harveys and all these different people. And I'm just like, and they're like, I could see they're in there like eating dinner and crap or whatever it was. And I was freaking running through the backyard like, I'm back. Same old me. Cops running behind me. So I jumped the fence through my own backyard into the backyard behind me, which is a good spot because it's a double lot. It's real dark. So I needed to catch my breath, man. I was tired as a mother effer, right? I mean, I'm not joking. I've gone like 2 miles jumping through backyards. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever jumped fences through backyards or been on the run from the cops or whatever. If they say 2 miles ain't far, they're full of shit. You know how many fences I had to jump to go 2 miles? You're talking I jumped 40, 45, 50 fences. I don't know how many fences. You know, I'm through backyards for 2 miles, not in the street. You hit the street, the cops are there. They're on you, bro. So they're like cruising up and down the street with their lights off. They see a guy come across the street. Whoa, they turn the lights on and trying to chase you. Now I'm backyard. And keep in mind, I got dogs chasing me every freaking 3 yards. The freaking dogs are barking at me, biting me. I'm exhausted. I get to this house is right behind my old house. And I remember that there was a woman there. She had a bunch of little girls when I was a kid. I don't know who lived there now, but when I was back in the day, there was a bunch of cute little girls around my age, blonde girls. Must have been 5 of them. Anyways, I run up and I'm so tired that I just kind of dive on the grass. It's hot, it's summer, I've been going for miles now. And I dive in the grass next to the porch. What are the odds? What the F are the odds that the lady who lives in that house is gonna step outside right then on her porch and start talking to her friend on the phone? What the frick is this? Are you kidding me? I'm looking up. I'm right there in the grass next to her porch, in the grass, wide open. You know, kind of shadow there. Like I just came through her fence, opened the gate, went out of it, and I had to take a break. So I just dove in the grass, kind of laid down, see what kind of cops cruise by. All of a sudden the door opens, man. The lady's right there. She's literally like 7 feet from me. I'm looking up at her like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's gonna look down any second and go, what the frick? Gotta look down and go, what the frick is it? Some dude laying in the grass on my lawn here. It's weird. She never did. She just kept talking to her friend on the phone and went back inside. What? That's frick crazy. I jumped, ran, hit the fence, jumped the fence, couple fence. I get to my girlfriend's house. Took me about 45 minutes to an hour or whatever. And she's not there. My Mustang's not there, and she's not there. Her car's there though, but my Mustang's not there. So I don't know where the F she. I think she was out looking for me. You know, with maybe Chris. I don't remember. I don't even remember to this day what the whole story is behind that. So she's not there. It's a hot summer night. I'm exhausted and I'm wanted by the police, and the police know that my girlfriend is my girlfriend. They know where I'm going to be. They know that I left her with the car. There's probably a good 90% chance that they're going to stake out her house and wait for her to pull up in that car or me to pull up there and then get me. So I get to her house and I climb up on her roof. I don't even know how I got on the roof, man, because that's tricky. I don't know how the F I got. You know, it's just when there's a will, there's a way, man. You do anything when there's a will, there's a way. And so I remember climbing up on the roof, and I was just, it was hot. It was really hot. I was exhausted, just wiped out. I must have got some water out of the faucet. And then I got up on the roof and laid on the back side of the roof of the house. You know what I'm saying? So the front side slopes down towards the street. I'm on the back side. I'm just laying there like this thing. My girlfriend's going to pull up any minute, right? She'll be back. I'm laying there, man. And honestly, I don't remember nothing else. I don't like, all I remember is I just remember something woke me up. I look up and I'm like, I didn't even know I fell asleep. That's the weird thing. The whole time I thought there was this kind of dazing out, just kind of waiting for her to pull up. Seems like a lot of time's gone by, an hour or two, whatever, but I don't even know. And all of a sudden I realized it's getting light out. What the frick is this, man? I said, and I realized, I literally was just like, it's getting light? Get the frick out of here. I jump, look over the porch, look over the roof, and my car's there. My car's there, her car. I said, holy shit, I never even heard. How did I not hear my own car pull up? It's loud. It's a Mustang, got pipes on it. Woo! Never heard it. Must have been out. I was exhausted and just wiped out. Just fell asleep. She didn't know where I was, so she just went in the house and went to bed. You know, but she did later tell me, she says, I had a feeling that you were maybe somewhere in my garage or somewhere or whatever. And I was like, nah, I didn't want to. If they had dogs, they could have got me in the garage. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah. So I got on the roof. That's the whole reason I got on the roof, because even if they have dogs, they ain't gonna get me. They're gonna know I'm up there. Because my scent is all over that house. You know, I'm in and out of her house all the time. So, yeah, my scent's all over. But, you know, they're going to know I'm up on that freaking roof up there. That's for sure. So, Anyways, it was about 5, 6 in the morning, and I don't remember how I stirred her up. I don't remember. Here's what I remember. Around 5 or 6 in the morning, the back door opens, and I hear my girlfriend Ramona say, "Shady, quiet, Shady," or something like that, or "Come on, Shady." It's like 5 in the morning. It's just starting to get light. "Come on, Shady." That's her dog, Shady. So I run down to the roof, and I jump off the roof and land in front of the dog. Like just, right in front of her and the dog. She's in her pajamas, standing at the door with the door open, letting the dog out. And I jumped down out of nowhere, just and it scared the shit out of her and the dog. The dog freaked out. As soon as the dog see me, he totally pussied out. And he was like, and freaked out because he was scared. And then all of a sudden, he realized he just acted like a bitch, and he turned around and tried to attack me. He's like, and tried to bite me, right? And I was like, "Shady, Shady, Shady, it's me. And he realized it was me, and he was okay. But I just scared the crap out of him, you know what I'm saying? I just dropped out of the sky because of the door right there. And my girl didn't really seem all that scared. She might have flinched a little bit, but she's like, "I figured you were somewhere around here." I'm like, "Dude, when did you get home?" She's like, "I don't know. Last night." She's like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "I fell asleep on your roof." I must have been up there all night. Like I didn't roll off the roof. But and I said, "So what happened with you guys?" She said, "Nothing. I just did what you did." I think she's like, after you, Chris and me went looking for you, driving around up and down the blocks, and one of the cops saw us driving up the blocks and stopped us again because they knew we were looking for you. He's like, but then we just kind of drove around looking for you a while, and then she's like, "I went up to my work and we got something to eat, and then we're just kind of trying to figure out what your plan was." And then he's like, "We came back here, and then I drove them home and dropped them off, and that was that." And the cops, what did the cops do when you left? I'm like, she told me exactly what you figured they were going to do. They're going to stop me. Second, I went to pull out. Chris pulled out. Like, "What are you doing? Why are you driving this car?" Blah, 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 blah. And just, whatever. And so I got away. Never really realized. And dude, I can remember to this day, right now, I'm remembering, I only had like a $50 pack of heroin. It was blue. And I had maybe like an 8-ball of Coke and a bottle of steroids. That's all it was. But I wasn't giving it up, and I wasn't going to jail. It's funny. And in my mind, I want to say that the $50 pack of heroin, which was my come down kind of, come down thing, I think I got it wet because I was sweating. You know what I'm saying? It was somewhere hidden in my waistland, man, or maybe in my freaking pocket or like crotched it or something. And it kind of got wet and ruined it. And I was like, "Well, actually just do that last night. I've been fine." Because I'm remembering it now. It's funny. But anyways, the stuff we do when you're a knucklehead, grimy ass knucklehead, just one day in the end of life. So that's the thing. These stories are not grandiose. These stories are not big time, not crazy, not just run of the mill, straight street guy, freaking messed up kid, idiot. But it was me against the world back then. Me against the freaking cops. It was me against everything. And I managed to win more than I lost until I lost bad. Then I went to prison for 13 years. But anyways, I'm sure everybody's got crazy stories like this. I'm sure everybody's got their own insanity stories like this. And dozens of them. These are mine, and I'm just sharing them. Most people probably aren't comfortable sharing them. They have jobs, families, careers. They don't want people to know that they were freaking drug addicts or criminals or whatever. Well, with me, everybody kind of already knows that I was a criminal or I was a drug addict. It's a funny thing about growing up in my family, like they really made the mafia into like a bad thing, even though they were. So it was so weird. It's like something you don't talk about it because it was bad, and yet they were all involved in it. It's weird. So I was never like ashamed to be. I actually was. I was made to feel ashamed as a kid to be involved in it and or around it or part of it. This was what it is. Kids didn't want to talk to me, and you don't tell nobody. It's our stuff. It's our secret. It's blah, blah. I'm like, man. So here I am today talking about it, but it is what it is. Hope you enjoyed the show. That's another one of the books. I'm going to publish this one in a couple days. For now, I'm going to go eat something and maybe go hunting. I'm not sure, but it's snowing out, so.
Former prisoner and inmate.
You did it. What are you doing, Guns?
You bit the hell out of me.
Going straight to the sky, let me see you put your hands up. Cause we do till we die and we on another level.
I'm at New York City.
To the rest of the body, got a piece of the pie. Told you once, told you twice that we only got one life.
All the way to what you see